Hello, YouTubers. I came to a fork in the road.
Yeah, looks like you did.
Don't know which way to go.
I would go your left, my right.
Yeah? I think I'd back out.
Same thing.
No, left and right? Oh, that could be, yeah. 'Cause I'm
Your
looking at
left,
you there.
my right.
You
There
always
you go.
gotta complicate things. Anyway, this video is about something that I don't get a chance to look at a lot of tractor videos. Tell you the truth, when I'm looking at YouTube, I'm usually looking at comedy stuff. You know, tractor stuff, you know, we're at it all day long. But anyway, I'm starting to see something that I should really bring to tractor owners' attention. Now, what I mean by a tractor owner that has an FEL, a front end loader attached to their tractor. And I've seen stuff that I kind of cringe when I see it, to be honest with you. And of course, but I never comment on their videos in a negative way like that, because I don't want to discourage anybody, and I don't want to point anybody out. I'm sure the people that watch this video will know what I'm talking about, and they're going to say, I did it, and I didn't realize that it was a good chance that I could hurt my loader. And what I'm talking about is forks on a tractor. These forks are Kubota forks, great forks. And you'll notice there's a hole in the fork. Why is the hole in the fork? The hole is in the fork because I put a trailer ball on that fork once in a while, and I bring in trailers, but I bring in light trailers. If I have to bring in a heavy trailer, I'll use the pickup, because forks can bend. And where do they bend? They usually bend at the heel. I have seen many of them bend at the heel. And I have seen people on YouTube picking up trailers with tractors with the ball out here and literally lifting the back wheels off the ground.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you could see the fork actually springing.
Oh.
But they don't realize something. Something that they don't think about, something that they don't even see happening. And it will happen eventually. Those forks are out here and out here. And what happens is, when you put enough stress on that fork to lift up them tires, and your ball is on that fork alone, you're stressing out this loader arm.
Wow.
Yeah, and when you stress out that loader arm bends. And it might only bend the minute amount. And what happens is, when you put your bucket back on, the bucket no longer rides level.
Oh.
It's always down on that side.
I wouldn't have thought of that. I would be able to pay attention to the fork.
And I have never seen a video where there's been warnings out there about this. I've also had situations where we've had tractors in here that the owner never ever put forks on. And when I bring them in, the first test that I do is I lay them on the floor, and sure enough, one side will go down, clunk, clunk. You've got to push them down in order to get them level again. And I know that the FEL is bent. And I'll always say to the owner, I'll say, your FEL is bent. And he'll say, how did you know? And I said, so I'll show him. He said, oh my gosh. He said, how would that happen? I said, wherever you were to and whatever you were doing, you were digging with your bucket, and you were digging with one side or one corner of your bucket.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, you know what? He said, that happened last year. I was trying to root out a rock.
Oh.
And he said, I'll tell you, he said, how much power I had. It lifted up the back of the tractor. Bingo. That's when it happened. So that's not good news, because it forever changes your FEL. Now, is there a way to fix it? Look, there's a possible way to fix it, and I've gotten them better. And I'm not going to tell you how I did it, because to be honest with you, it's probably not the right way of doing things. Well, we won't even go into that. But This video is just to let people be aware of the fact that that can happen. And it happens through abuse, but abuse and ignorance. And what I mean by ignorance is not knowing the difference.
True.
When you're using your tractors, try to keep an equal amount of weight throughout the whole front. That way the arms are designed. This arm is not putting out any more than what that arm is lifting. If you're going to use your forks for towing trailers around, I would advise to bring your fork in closer to the center.
Oh yeah, move those in.
Move them in.
Okay.
So that way at least you're protecting your front FEL a little bit.
Oh yeah, I've seen you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've had them right equal. in the
Right
middle,
close,
center.
yeah. Now you can't bring them right dead center,
No.
because when you bring them right dead center, that's how you get them off. See this little notch here?
Oh yeah.
That's how you lift them off. So I would advise just bring them in close to there and locking them down. Okay?
I've seen you do it, but I didn't know why.
That's
you were doing
why.
it.
And you know, I've never done a video on it until I was looking at a YouTube channel the other night, and a really great guy, fantastic person. And I really thought, I said, you know, maybe he's not aware of this. So,
Yeah.
and he's going to know who he is. And he's not the only one. It's just something that I want to always point out to people. And it's a common problem. Like, I'm going to tell you, out of 10 tractors that we see in here, I can guarantee you 4 or 5 is going to have bent arms.
Yeah.
That's pretty serious stuff. Like, you're literally starting to stress out the machine when it gets that bad. And you'll forever have an uneven FEL, a front end loader. That's not good.
Not cheap.
No. So folks, if you're going to use your buckets, and I know it's easier to grab a corner in a bucket and poke something up, but if you got to get into digging like that, you're better off with a tooth bar or teeth of some sort instead of just a cutting edge. And always take the full bucket if you can. If you can't get it with the full bucket, maybe it's time to invest in a backhoe. It's going to be a lot cheaper than tearing up your FEL. If you insist on using your forks, like I do, but keep the weight down. Don't overstress the machine. If the trailer's, like, the only reason why I use this at all for towing a trailer is because we have a Toyota forklift. We call them Forky. But anybody who knows forklifts will know that they're the most cowardly thing in the world when they get off pavement. They do not like to be off pavement.
No, that's right. Just what our warehouse use at most.
Yeah, well, some got the little warehouse wheels, but ours is still considered a rough terrain forklift. It has the big knobby wheels.
But they're heavyweight, yeah.
The counterweight on
Yeah.
them. Oh my gosh, they're so heavy.
Yeah.
You know, and even then they shouldn't be used for towing trailers, but we do use ours for towing trailers. And it can lift a substantial amount more weight than this thing can. Like, we can take a excavator bucket off a 320 cat with the forklift that will just pick it up and come on with it for fun. This thing here, it will pick it up, but I'm going to tell you, she's light on the arse end when she got it picked up. She's so light on the arse end, in fact, that before we had the forklift, I had to back into a snowbank and pick up a pile of snow in the snowblower just to keep the rear end down, to lift the bucket in the shop here.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, again, but I lifted it center and it did it okay, but I don't recommend doing that. It's just that, hey, sometimes when you're making a living, you gotta push stuff to the limits. But never on the corner of your FEL, never. Boys, I'm telling you, and gals, don't do it. It's not worth the trouble you're gonna set yourself up for. If you insist on using your forks, come as close to the center as you can. Excuse me. An alternative to using forks is forget about the forks for towing trailers. Get yourself a blank skid steer attachment. Weld yourself a hitch receiver on here. Reinforce it. Put a ball on it and lift from center all times. That's the best way to do things. So folks, just wanted to make you aware of it. You guys be careful and be safe.